Welcome back to The Aligned Path. I'm Glenn Pankhurst. Today's episode is really special. I'm sharing a deeply transformative experience I had around 2020. My intention is simple, to show you what's possible when you truly commit to alignment, letting go of resistance, and healing from the inside out. This isn't just my story, it's an invitation. Everything I experienced is available to you too. In early 2020, as COVID shifted the world around us, something powerful was shifting within me. I'd been working with an energy healer, and one of my practices was to record and share my dreams with her. Paying attention to dreams became a transformative tool, unlocking vivid messages from deep within myself. Around the same time, I connected with friends who are on similar healing journeys, all focused on releasing what I call the emotional baggage we unconsciously hold on to. Meeting these friends was no coincidence. It was part of my deliberate intention to heal and align more fully within myself. One afternoon, I witnessed a profound emotional release in one of my friends, facilitated by another friend. I vividly remember seeing her face in a state of pure ecstasy, blissed out and deeply connected to her inner being, her source. My friend had guided her into releasing deeply held emotional blocks, even though she didn't fully understand what was happening. Seeing her pure bliss reminded me of what naturally occurs when we truly let go of our blocks. That evening, inspired by what I'd witnessed, I set a clear and deliberate intention to release all inherited beliefs, those stories passed down through generations, and all uninherited beliefs, those I'd gathered along my physical journey that no longer served me. The reason it unfolded so beautifully was that after seeing my friend's experience, I fully knew it was possible. There was no contradiction, no doubt, just absolute trust and knowing. What followed was extraordinary. A powerful, intense, yet beautifully focused energy surged from the crown of my head. It felt incredibly precise, like gently cutting through resistance without pain. It wasn't scary, I didn't feel panicked, I actually felt calm, almost still, as something massive moved through me. The whole time, it felt like a knife was moving through the top center of my head. Not painful, but unmistakable. Like something was cutting me open energetically and letting years, maybe lifetimes, of limiting beliefs pour out. I didn't resist it, I just let it happen. I stayed still, and I trusted in the process. And when it was done, I felt peace, like deep, anchored peace and calm I've never known before. A few days later, while in the shower, I intuitively felt there was more to release. Again, I set the intention clearly, and the experience happened spontaneously, powerfully, yet gently. Though slightly less intense than the first, both experiences felt significant and incredibly powerful, deeply liberating me from long-held blocks. Shortly after, I had what I can only describe as a prophetic experience, something that felt far more real than any waking experience I've ever had. It will always stand out as the most vivid and extraordinary thing I've lived through. It wasn't just a dream, it was an experience. I found myself completely outside of my body, in an infinite black void, facing a boundless golden yellow light. And as soon as I perceived it, first as a sun-like form, radiant and dimensional, yet somehow infinite, I knew with utter clarity that it was God. I didn't question it, I just knew. From that moment, every sense within me recognized the divine presence, expansive, uncontainable, and all-loving. At first it appeared like a sun, infinitely expansive and radiant, something with dimension, yet limitless, with no borders. Then it transformed before me, my perception shifted, and I experienced it as a flat, infinite wall of golden light. Again, completely without borders, just pure, boundless presence. As I was drifting towards this radiant presence, I wasn't being pulled, I was gliding. There was no force, no resistance, I was allowing it, just gently gliding in, completely willing. I began to increase in velocity, faster and faster. Simultaneously, a high-frequency pitch in my ear began to intensify, getting higher, sharper, faster with every moment. The closer I got, the more amplified everything became. I was now seeing Source right in front of me, not at a distance anymore. It was so close, so real. The intensity of the energy, the speed, and that piercing frequency combined in such a way that I had a moment of wondering, am I going to cease to exist? And am I going to explode? It wasn't fear, it was just the immensity of it all. And then I gave in. I surrendered completely, and I merged with Source. On the other side, I found myself floating, enveloped in golden rays, radiant and warm. I was dressed in a flowing gown, hair long, fully relaxed, basking in love. It was awe-inspiring. Words can't fully describe it. The experience was more vivid than ultra-high definition, more real than reality. I woke up the next morning, still completely enveloped in the energy of that experience. I immediately sent the dream, really the experience, to my healer and the 2 friends. Then I went to work. I went downstairs for lunch, and that's when I saw a message from the healer, "You're healed." I texted my friends to share that message, and they both responded, "Yeah, no kidding," as they'd already listened to my dream and felt what had happened. I went back upstairs to my office and sat in my cubicle. That's when it hit me, an overwhelming rush of energy through the top of my head, like a fountain. The feeling was intense, ecstatic, and pure. I wasn't doing anything to make it happen, it just was. I was in such a state of bliss, of pure connection and love, that I started repeating out loud, involuntarily, "Nothing matters, nothing matters, nothing matters." It was like a spiritual orgasm, waves of joy and ecstasy, so deep and so consuming that my body didn't know what to do except feel. After work, I stopped by the store and I could feel people looking at me. I must have looked euphoric, like I was glowing or having some kind of out-of-body bliss moment. It was that intense. Then when I went home, I collapsed on the couch and that feeling continued. Hours passed. It didn't stop. I just kept blissing out, waves of ecstasy running through me. Later that evening, I felt this intense curiosity. I had to know what I looked like, what this energy might look like on the outside. So I turned off the lights in the bathroom, softened my gaze, and looked at my reflection. I've always been able to see my aura in low light, but this was something else. My aura was massive, so bright, glowing orange gold, almost like fire. It had movement like flames, and it extended far out of the top of my head. That feeling didn't stop for days. It lasted continuously, full strength, for at least a couple of days, and then intermittently every day for weeks. Not every second was as intense as the first moment, but the energy was always there. And when I started wondering if it would go away, a calm voice within me reminded me, if it stops, it stops. If it continues, it continues. Let it be. Since that awakening, the journey has continued, every day, deeper, clearer. The most beautiful part is that it's no longer about healing or releasing, it's about being. And the Kundalini-like energy I experienced then still shows up now. Often when I'm in nature, when I'm quiet, I feel it again. Less intense, but no less real. One thing that has stayed with me is the ringing in my ears. Since that experience, it's never stopped, especially when I ask for something I don't yet have. The frequency in my right ear gets louder, faster, higher. That's the vibration of my inner being, of Source, responding to my desire. The left ear, usually quieter, reflects where I currently am. When the tones are far apart, I know I have a little catching up to do. When they're closer, I know I'm almost in sync. It's become a tool, a way of tracking alignment, not intellectually, but energetically. It's shown me that everything we want already exists. Our job isn't to chase it, it's to let go of what blocks it. And that's just a practice. You catch yourself falling into old patterns and you choose again. You pause, breathe, and trust that everything really is always working out. And now it's normal. The flow is normal. The peace is normal. The joy is normal. Because once you've experienced the truth of who you are and Source's love pouring through you, you can't go back. Not really. You've seen what's possible. And you realize alignment isn't something you visit once and stay in forever. It's something you choose moment by moment based on what you're focused on. Over time, it becomes your natural state. The more you practice it, the more you're unwilling to be anywhere else because it feels that good. Thank you for being here and listening through such a personal story. As I reflect, here's what the dream meant to me. At first, Source, God, appeared as this boundless, radiant sun, present, focused, dimensional, yet infinite. Even though it was limitless, with no edges, for me, that showed that Source isn't just somewhere out there, but is fully present in our world, in every dimension, meeting us where we are. Then Source shifted into something even more mysterious, an infinite flat wall of light. No depth, no shape, just everywhere, all at once. It was as if God was saying, I am present everywhere, with no boundaries, in every possible way. That was the feeling of true omnipresence. God is infinite, present everywhere, and also fully here with us, in this moment and in this reality. But the part that left the deepest mark in me was the clarity. What I saw was so real, so vivid, far clearer than anything I've experienced in waking life. It was like seeing with new eyes. That clarity, that ultra-high definition, showed me how Source sees things. Absolute clarity, absolute knowing, absolute certainty. There was no confusion, no distortion, just clarity and presence. As I moved closer, the ringing in my ears, the frequency kept rising, louder, higher, faster, more intense. For me, that's the vibration of Source. The more aligned I became, the closer I came to merging with that infinite presence. It got so strong, it almost felt like I would dissolve completely. That's how real it was. I had a moment where I thought, if I let go, I could cease to exist. And in that surrender, I merged with Source. On the other side, I felt nothing but love and warmth. Source just beamed unconditional love and light, embracing me fully. That's the part that stayed with me, the unconditional, steady nature of Source. Pure love, pure care, pure acceptance. That's my interpretation. The dreams speak a personal language, and I'd love to hear how you experience it too. What does this dream bring up for you? What did you feel or see? Comment below or send a message. Let's open the conversation and share perspectives. If you want to begin today, start first thing in the morning. 17 minutes meditating, watching, or listening to something positive to set your tone. In the evening, take a walk in nature, aiming for satisfaction. Every Sunday, give yourself an intentional meditative sound bath reset for the week ahead. And your dreams, record them, feel into them, let them speak to you. These are the rhythms that brought me back to myself. You're not broken, you're not behind, you're just out of sync with part of you that already knows who you are. And the more you practice alignment, gently, consistently, the more that version of you becomes your everyday. Want the full story behind this rhythm? Go back to episode 1, The Block. And if you want even more support with these rhythms, keep an eye out for my new guided meditation episodes coming soon. Each one is designed to help you reset, realign, and return to yourself whenever you need it. Thank you for walking this path with me. I'm Glenn Pankhurst, and this is The Aligned Path. I'll meet you in the next episode. For all the links to listen, follow, and read, just head to my bio, wherever you're listening or following. That's where you'll find everything in one place, including the latest episodes, articles, and all my social channels. If this speaks to you, please subscribe, review, like, share, comment, or tag a friend. Let's keep walking this path together. And I'd love to know, what are you working on? What are you letting go of? What are you ready for today? You can comment on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, or directly on the articles. Let others feel the ripple of your insights.